From the original Walk-Ons, Burbank at Nicholson. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Sandgrove, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro, Jordan Kitchens back in the studio. Colucci with us from Las Vegas today. Matt Humans back off of vacation today. And we're happy that you are spending a little bit of time with us today. Jimmy, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good to be over here at Walk-Ons. A lot of excitement.
Got a 4-game wraparound baseball series starting tomorrow. So this is a pretty good place if you come to get something to eat or drink or just hang out before, during, after the games. You're a few buzzy Highdale long tosses away from the box right here.
This is the spot. This is the spot before, during, and after LSU baseball games. If you're taking a break from the game, or you leave early, or starting a little late, you want to watch, or this is the place we'll always have the games on over here. And man, we are getting excited too for the end of March, Charlie. The Zach Bryan concert. Sometimes they throw these concerts at Tiger Stadium, and it's in the middle of July. It's hot. Best weather in South Louisiana is the end of March and beginning of April. And Saturday, March 28th, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., we're going to get you ready to tailgate. Zach Bryan's got a smoke show song, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Okay. The smoke show, crawfish boil, and tailgate party. So go DJ, who was DJing over at Bally's on Saturday night. We were with him over there. And Chase Tyler Band at 3 p.m., so 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Crawfish and jambalaya available for purchase. Outdoor big screens to watch LSU baseball. Kentucky will be in town. Softball game, they're in town as well. Rain or shine, so pregame starts at right here. And for the Tiger, the concert starts at 7 p.m., so awesome weather, rains. And guess what? Every pre-sale ticket, you get an entry to win a pair of Zach Bryan Club seats. So nice. You talk about awesome. General admission, $15. VIP, $110 over here at Walk-Ons for the Smoke Show, Crawfish Boil, and Tailgate Party before the Zach Bryan concert at Tiger Stadium, Saturday, March 28th.
Last night, LSU gets a win on the road against Ole Miss. Double overtime, 106-99. Was a close game throughout most of this contest. LSU was down a point at the end of the first half. They had the lead into the latter stages of the second half before Ole Miss had a shot in the air to win it in regulation. Went to overtime, missed, had a shot in the air in overtime to win it, missed it. And LSU in the second overtime was able to break through. It was a huge night for Max McKinnon, who finished with, in my opinion, the best offensive game that any LSU player has had this year, 34 points. He hit 4 3-pointers in the first half. And in the latter stages of the game and in the overtime, he made a number of nice driving shots. And as usual, makes most of his free throws. McKinnon was exceptional last night. But LSU shot the ball really well as a team. They shot 50% from the floor. They shot 52% from three-point range, and they made nearly all of their free throws at 86%, so all that was good. Ole Miss matched them for a lot of this game. The defenses for both of these teams have struggled, and that's an understatement. Ole Miss was able to run that baseline pick play over and over again that LSU couldn't stop, and LSU ran the middle pick and roll as well as you can run it at times, and Ole Miss couldn't stop that. And then, again, both teams shot the ball pretty well, although Ole Miss didn't kill it from three-point range in the second half. So the Tigers get a win on the road. Both of these teams were struggling coming in. LSU had lost 5 straight. Ole Miss had lost 9 straight. And the defensive woes for both teams were big reasons for those losing streaks. So they're about to put a bunch of points on the board last night. LSU showed some resilience in winning the game in double overtime by 7 to snap the 5-game stretch.
If you count the spread that was available most of the day last week, when we told you on this show 6 days ago, and some buddies of mine, texted me and thanked me for, getting down to, LSU against Alabama. Alabama opened 5.5. It was at 5.5 for quite some time, and then it, went off at 7.5. But if you have that 5.5 number or 6.5, LSU's a perfect 10 for 10 covering on the road and not covering at home. They even tried to switch up their routine last week before the Alabama game to try and mimic what they do on the road. Go to practice and then come back a little bit later for some film study and things like that. Not quite the same when you're looking to get a break from your hotel room in the same building you come as going home and then coming back to campus and things like that. But anyway, they were trying to they've identified that they've, for whatever reason, they're playing better on the road than they are at home. McKinnon was, would he lead them in scoring, assists, rebound? Just
he
not,
didn't lead them in
rebounds.
assists. Jalen Reese, who I want to talk about here,
But
in a minute, had a really good game.
what? On a decent team, he might be a nice piece, but highly inconsistent. So he was the star of the game last night.
Yeah.
Okay. He hit a lot of shots. Some were shots that you can get off in normal games, and some were some poor defensive. But nonetheless, and so what did he do the game before? He's 3 for 16 from the floor. So so the SMU game, 7 of 8 from 3 in New Orleans?
6 of 7. Yeah.
6 of 7?
Yeah.
Okay, what did he do before and after? So, but the biggest thing is, so now they're tied for last place still with South Carolina and Oklahoma. So we got one team's going to stay in last place on Saturday. It's small victories, but have they at least are they still playing? This Ole Miss team has lost 10 in a row now.
Mm-hmm.
10 in a row, and they had the possessions, the last possession into regulation, last possession of end of first overtime, and you look like they were, they for most of the game they were still going to win. 7-point lead very late in regulation, or like last 3 minutes or so.
4 minutes, yeah, right about the 4 minute mark.
Maybe the last media timeout, the under 4 timeout. So you have these games in college basketball where you can get hot from behind the line. We're doing a little research, but it's roughly 3 to 4% teams in college basketball shoot 50% from behind the arc for the game. They did it for the game, the 40 minutes, and in 10 more minutes of overtimes. Yeah. So it even makes it more impressive, but also less sustainable. And so, that's what it took to shoot over 50% from three-point range for a 50-minute game to a win in double overtime. It takes a lot because this team is so bad on defense. So many easy buckets for Ole Miss last night, and that makes it very difficult. And it's that's why this team is so bad, because they make it so hard on themselves to win games because their defense is so bad.
And we talked about that. We did it on Football Sunday after they beat SMU. We were sitting there. There was a little bit of optimism at that point. It's like,
it's the only real team they played at that point.
Okay, but this is in December, and SMU is a good team. They're a tournament team.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not a great team, but
they're a 500 team in the ACC, which is not a strong.
They're going to make the tournament, I think.
Okay, they're kind of flirting with disaster.
At any rate, it's the best win that they've got
by far.
And what did I say? I said, look, they don't have a lot of outside shooting. McKinnon has to shoot the ball well for them to put up points from behind the arc, and he did that night, and he did last night, and so that's great. I think the kid's a nice player. He's, and he had a great game last night. Though, they left him open for some shots in the first half. Down the stretch, he made some tough driving shots. That was great. I asked Scott Rabelais a question yesterday, and I don't have to pose it to you. I know what your answer is. And my question to him was, has the decision already been made on Matt McMahon? Because I get conflicting stories about whether it is or not. And Scott kind of, I don't know. I said, well, it shouldn't be. And the reason, I said it before the game yesterday, and I'm going to say it again, the decision basketball-wise on Matt McMahon should have been made, okay? Ole Miss has lost 9, now 10 in a row. Oklahoma is in last place. Auburn has lost 6 out of 7, and A&M has lost 5 out of 7. They're sliding, okay? They had good starts. They've been sliding of late. Don't let these 4 games, even if they win them all, which I don't think they will, but if they win them all, you have to look at the whole big picture, and the whole big picture that is done. So don't let these games. I'm glad they won. I'm happy for the kids. You know, they played hard. They deserve to win. Good for them.
Did they finish last or second to last in the league last year?
Second to last. South Carolina was blown by a game.
Okay.
The big picture, the whole deal, the recruiting, the scheduling, the fundraising, all that all has been done. Okay, so I asked that question for a reason. Don't let the last 4 games, and I didn't know they were going to win last night, 50-50 game.
Well,
same thing with the rest of these games. You know, they got a chance to win them all because none of these teams are playing particularly well. Don't let this cloud the whole picture. Take the whole thing into consideration. All the wins, all the losses, all the recruiting, all the fundraising, all of the everything when you're making a decision on Matt McMahon. We've been pretty clear about where we are on that.
They were second to 15th out of a 16-team league last year.
Yeah.
They're tied for last right now.
Yeah.
That last night's game included.
Yes.
There's no sport on that campus that you can that somebody can survive that. Much less 2 years before when you don't even sniff the tournament.
And when this comes out,
you can't go 4 years without sniffing a tournament,
right?
And continue.
And when this comes out in a couple of weeks, whatever they decide, I won't be wild about it, but at least I'll understand if they say, "Hey, look, we're out of money." Okay, if they say that, we're out of money. But don't tell me, "Oh, the program had made some strides in the last 2 weeks of the season," or "Oh, they had people hurt," because I'll run you the numbers of what the hurt kids would have given.
Save that excuse BS for somebody else, man.
So don't tell me. Tell me. Listen, we're out of money. We got to keep. Okay, I mean, bummer, but okay. At least that. I can get my head around that. I know what they've spent in the other sports. I know what they just finished spending in football. If they say, "Look, we're out of money." Okay, you know, again, bummer, but at least I understand that. Don't tell me that the basketball's getting better based on playing teams like this, because it's not. It's not.
You're 0 for 4 on making to the tournament. The also thing you talked about Texas A&M. You talked about how, like you mentioned, I think we're hot, or then they're not so much. On their last 7 games, it's directly correlated. They're 0-5 against teams that are projected in a tournament. They're 2-0 against teams that aren't. You have a divide between the top 11 and the bottom 5. Oklahoma might be a little bit better. They've had some real tough luck loss. I mean, they could have flipped 2 or 3 of those results, and they'd probably be in a tournament right now. But you're last. You're last.
Yeah.
And including last night's game. I mean, we're gonna is beating a team that's lost 10 in a row going to flip everything around? No. Oh, everything counts. This game counts.
Everything counts.
Everything counts, including the empty seats. You know, we've done this a long time. Joe Dean may have had his faults, but Joe Dean's best quote ever: "I hire the coaches, the empty seats fire them." Do you have less excitement? Max is not going to the games anymore. Max. Okay? I mean, who is more optimistic than Max? He's given up. I mean, so you're going to have less next year? How about the crowd last night at the Pavilion? Think they're excited?
Looked about like the crowds in Baton Rouge.
I mean, it was.
DePaul won last night.
It was a fun game. It was
really entertaining.
The entertainment level, it was great.
They played.
Curly Hallman is widely viewed around in the LSU community as the worst coach to ever come through. You got more resources to. I mean, look, it's his SEC record was around a third. The low 30%. McMahon's not catching him. 4 years now. And don't tell me you inherited this. We see guys inherit stuff. They got a lot of first-year coaches doing very good. How about the guy in Virginia?
Yeah,
he took over a team that had a losing record last year.
Right.
First-year coach, Ryan Odom. They're 1 game behind Duke in the ACC standings, 15 games in.
Yeah,
okay?
The first year thing is done.
The NC State's going to go to the tournament. They haven't had a perfect season, but they're going to. Don't give me that what you inherited. No, that's BS. And I couldn't tell you that McMahon would have been a bad fit here. But bro, part of your job is fundraising, and he just doesn't. He just has not embraced that.
No, the resume was fine when they hired him.
You're not catching Curly Hallman. I'm sorry. I mean, so if you don't have the money, but I mean. in all due respect to Scott, when he brought it up, I think I almost choked on my water. I mean, like, wait, what? What? If they rally and they still, man, okay, you're in last place.
With DePaul's
You're
win
in
last night,
last place.
they've beaten three teams with winning records. With DePaul's win last night, DePaul had lost last night.
I hear that stuff, but um, the and then Newhouser says, they wanted Will Wade. I just don't know if McMahon ever had a chance. I'm like, it's not $0.2 million player budget, man. Now they had to pay more than others, and they went the age thing, and on paper they looked improved and looked like they might be able to, do something on paper. But his teams don't play defense, dude. You had to shoot over 50% from three-point range to win in double overtime against a team that had lost 9 in a row. They don't play defense a lick. And if you want to talk about code, what they do, that's make it way too tough on themselves.
We're here at the original Walkons Burbank at Nicholson, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
They're going to be a 2.5, 3.5 point favorite Saturday. So,
Ten and three against the spread away from home. We're going to talk about a sneaky T-Mac. Much better. What would you, Jimmy? What would you honestly give their home court advantage? Is it negative? Is it
yes.
negative value?
Yeah. I think it's demoralizing. You go out there, and that's where you.
So like
I think it hurt Ole Miss.
LSU, Oklahoma on a neutral. What is that line in your eyes?
I think Oklahoma is like 3 to 4 points better. They've been in so many more games. Porter Both is way better.
Okay, so you're saying 3.5.
Yeah.
What about at LSU? What would you give it? What's your spread? What are you making? Now what it's now what
Basically the same thing. Maybe 4, 3.5, 4.
So it's a net neutral. It doesn't matter. It's basically like they're on a regional cycle.
That's why because people know that normally, home court advantage means so much in college basketball. It just means nothing if you're not, it's a negative effect. I mean, that is unbelievable, that crowd. People bail.
Macero texted me yesterday. He said he liked Ole Miss. Or he liked LSU. He liked LSU. He was betting LSU. And he was trying to get me to talk him out of it. And I really couldn't. I didn't bet it myself, but I was basically like, yeah, they're on the road. They're catching points.
Over 50% from three to win in double overtime. Ole Miss should have won.
How about LSU now? They're 3-0 in overtime games. Great coaching. You gotta win those close games.
Oh, they're tied. Yeah, they're tied.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease and may need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit ALS.org to learn more. That's ALS.org.
There's more than one way to listen to ESPN Baton Rouge. Radio at 104.5 and 98.1 HD2. Online at 104.5ESPN.com and the free ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app. Powered by
104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Odd and Annie from the original Walkons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Show's available on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. Handicast up on YouTube right now with LSU Baseball. Brought to you by Supreme Rice, celebrating their 90th year in business here in 2026, supporting our Louisiana farmers. For more information, go to supremerice.com. Jimmy, you watch a ton of college basketball, right?
Great card last night. It's a lot of fun. By the way, the last 10 games on the West Coast, 10 for 10, home team covered.
Is that right?
Yeah. Wisconsin blew a big lead at Oregon.
They did. They did. I don't know that when you watch a night of college basketball, you say, well, I saw something I've never seen before. But, Jimmy, if I've ever seen a team go 17 and a half minutes without scoring a basket, I don't remember it. And I've certainly never seen a team coached by Rick Pitino go 17 and a half minutes without a field goal. And that's what happened to St. John's last night. UConn beat them by 32, but they scored their last field goal with 17:28 to go in the game and never put the ball in the basket. Well, they got some free throws, but they never scored another basket.
It's a weak Big East this year. It really is. And, we talked about it with programs, that transitioning to the and we saw this coming. We talked about, some hot coaches and some Big East coaches that were looking to get some SEC jobs because they could see the handwriting on the wall. No football money coming in over the overall athletic department. We're going to slip. And you've seen it, man. Some good programs. Man, they had like 300 people right at tip at the Georgetown Marquette game. I mean, we're talking about some really, Creighton is not even close to what they used to be. Xavier, I mean, just like Villanova's going to make the tournament, but they're nothing to write home about. Charlie would talk about it a lot, and, a lot of experienced sports gamblers and handicappers that we bounce ideas off of each other in the revenge aspect. And we all think that revenge means more in the college game than it does in the pro. But you have a wide range of opinions on just how legitimate that revenge angle is. We brought it up yesterday.
Yeah.
Did that revenge angle work last night?
Very much.
Gonzaga revenge, they're 25-point favorites, but UConn and Gonzaga in some revenge spots. What about combined 73 points last night?
And St. John's celebrated that win against UConn.
Well, it was
very publicly celebrated.
Standalone game, Friday night, got great ratings in Madison Square Garden, #1 media market. They were talking. I mean, it blew away pretty much every NBA game that's been this year. I mean, it just drew a great number, and it was a great game. It's when they have the Garden and St. John's, and Patino's good, but I don't think his roster's quite as good as it was last year, and a lot of people criticize him for not having a good point guard. Now, the white kid is coming on and kind of steadied it a little bit, but he's far from exceptional from what they've had last year.
22-6 on the season. That was the mother of all clunkers in the second half last night.
Even UConn's not as good. I know that they're one of the. Could they be like a 2 seed? Is that probably where they are?
That's where they are.
Okay.
That's where they are. They could be a 1 seed, but they're probably a 2 seed.
Do you put them on that? Look, I know this. He's got a better team than he had last year, and it was a flip of the coin in that second round game. It was a standalone game on Sunday, the first game of the day, in the first weekend of the tournament. Flip of the coin against Florida. He went on to win it all. So he will have his team ready.
You get some different opinions about that fourth #1 seed. You can make a case for Illinois. You can make a case
Houston's
for Florida.
Lost 3 in a row. So
Houston is down in the last couple of weeks. You can make a case for Florida. You can make a case for UConn.
Florida, to me, it's Florida.
It's close right now. I don't think the fourth #1 seed has been decided. I think 3 of them are in the freezer locked. The fourth one, I think, we're still playing.
And Florida had a nice win last night. Texas played about as good. It was kind of like Baylor, with Arizona. Baylor wake up. Baylor couldn't have played it. Texas couldn't have played much better.
We use this term a lot when a team is trying to play against a team that is more talented than them. The game's a little too long. For 34 minutes, Texas was right there. In the last 6 minutes, Florida showed why they're the better team. Texas hung with them for 34, 35 minutes, and then the game was too long for them. That's what I saw.
I mean, it applied last night. I'm not sure. I think it's you just can't maintain that super high level like they had for that long. I mean, ultimately, they did it for 34 minutes. And they could, and that's just hard to play at that level
Florida's really
against
good.
a team like that who's interested in playing.
Yeah.
It was very early. Texas got the attention of Florida. It was just a high-level game. So very similar path. Those two teams were no matter which inferior rosters playing at home. Crowd was into it. Just couldn't play a complete 40. But this Florida team, they got up. For a team that's a reigning national champion, Charlie, they got an edge to them. They got they're not going to go in like last year into Athens and fall behind by 26 because they're disinterested. They got maybe because they started and they were kind of mediocre for a while against that brutal schedule.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't think they were mediocre. I think they went to Arizona went to Vegas and played Arizona. Went to the Garden and played UConn, and went to Duke and played Duke. That's hard.
They're up 2 in Durham, at Cameron Indoor, with less than 10 seconds to go.
And all of those
Duke
games
gets a 3.
Close. Yeah, all of those games were close.
Well, remember you asked me when Vandy's metrics were much better, and I was like, no. Florida still got games. Their guards, here's the thing. The guard at Princeton and the guard at Arkansas had different roles than they have here. They've inherited the best front court in all of college basketball. Those bigs are big, they're skilled, and they're deep, and they all do something a little bit different. And they are the best front court in basketball. So their role is role identification. It's obvious with this run right now. This is the SEC is the third best league this year. It's not what it was last year, but it's still a league that you're just crushing everybody in the league. I think they're going to get a number one.
Boogie Flam was really good last night.
Give Golden some credit. Give Golden some credit. And that's the crazy thing, huh? On paper, McMahon and Golden had, identical resumes minus one thing. McMahon beat him in overtime in the first round of the tournament. Weren't they?
Yeah.
Weren't they the same resume?
There were thoughts that if LSU and Florida, and those were the two coaches, one was going to get one was going to get the other.
Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title, Ashley Donald, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Marion Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing, nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title 296-0060. Hockey's back.
Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I like to stay. All I do is sit down. And
Try to keep him dead.
You won both of them, bet the last one. ULOB. They both get it?
No, 1-1.
Oh, good. I'm going to get one time, like, when you bet Coach School Sunday, only bet the late Coach School.
That long, right? First one.
First was blasted. Man, was it Tuesday? The wind was unbelievable. In that Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas. Because I can get them now. I just hit ESPN Plus on my TVs, and it brings it to it. I'm getting 90% of
I
it.
talked to you Tuesday at the show because some of the lines were up to 16.5, 17. They were scoring 20-something runs.
It was. I had the Memphis game on Memphis.
Memphis, yeah.
Bombs.
Well, some of them were just fly balls that would carry out easily.
Well, most of them were shots. I mean, it was nuts. You watch the outfielders, they just looked up.
Well, if it gets windy enough, it'll affect the pitch too. You know, if you're straight into the wind. And Echeverria and Smotherman 4-shot lead by themselves.
He was just hit his shoes and socks off in the water.
Oh, really? I like.
20 minutes.
I thought about Smotherman.
He was at 7 under when he was in the.
I thought about Smotherman. Echeverria, I don't bet him really, but my guys are off to a rough start today. The 3 that played this morning. I couldn't bet anybody at the top. It's a crapshoot. I mean, Ryan Gerard is the favorite. He's playing great golf, but 14-1, are you kidding me? Like, Ryan Gerard. Bet a bunch of guys 100-1, and hopefully one of them hits.
All right. He's still trying to get him. I'm going to do it live.
I almost bet this guy, but I didn't want to have Jimmy read him out.
So,
I I don't even know how to say his name. Surushan Yelamaraji.
Never mind. Okay.
Okay, thanks. Kaluch, how you doing, buddy? Dwayne, you with us? It sound like we're a little click. Okay, we'll reconnect with him, Charlie.
Yeah, we'll tell you that we're brought to you by the Thibodeau store, the Pierreport store, open in La Rose and La Place as well. Right now on the website, deals from Channel Lock tools, all vices, all of your tripods, all of your headlamps, flashlights, all of them. Everything from Channel Lock right now is on special on the website. You find a number of deals there. All 4 of the properties are accessible at thethibodeaustore.com. You're doing home improvements as we inch towards spring. Lots of cleaning supplies, lots of storage units, and, of course, if you're doing those little projects yourself, let them help you out. Their experts will save you time and money to where you don't have to hire out for every little project. Talk to them at 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux and Highway 70 in Pierreport for your outdoor cooking needs as well, whether it be at your home or for tailgating, crawfish pots, jambalaya pots, grills, and griddles. All of it available at the Thibodaux store. Open daily until 5:30 and open at 7:30 in the morning. thethibodeaustore.com. I think Colucci was so excited about USA hockey and then the return of NHL hockey. Man, he's having a hard time catching his breath, right?
yes. So we're having some technical difficulties right now. But I want to get his, I mean, for a hockey guy like him, that's why, and Randy doesn't even pretend to be like, that's not his expertise, but he certainly knows more hockey than us. And just if it was just all this, whatever, there's a lot of shenanigans and stuff like that, but it was just fun, man.
Did you see the intro no matter
where it's not the big underdog, but it was an underdog. What's our rivalry? Whatever it is, whatever it is, it was just fun.
You see
man.
The pregame in New Jersey last night for Jack Hughes?
Yes.
It was awesome.
I had TNT on one of my TVs, and they're doing the pregame, and they even have the player picture, celebrating, the gold
the
medal.
flag and the tooth and.
No, with they just this
was
their backdrop.
Okay.
Their studio backdrop.
Okay.
Was the team picture after the gold medal, and so they went live to the Devils game, and he addressed the media before. It was cool, man.
The place just went absolutely crazy.
Yes,
it was awesome.
Yes,
great atmosphere.
And he's saying all the right things.
Yeah.
Kaluch, man, I'm sorry, but we got you now, buddy. But man, what was going through your mind watching that gold medal game on Sunday morning?
All that hoped for.
We're not going to bring in all the political stuff because you can't win in that. But the one thing that the State of the Union addressed was that basically, because they voted on the MVP at the first intermission, which is obviously flawed, okay? But kind of the team vote unanimous. They gave it to the goalie. No, here's our MVP. You got this presidential award. So, man, how good is that a surprise to you based on his career at Winnipeg right now?
His performance or Donald Trump giving him?
No. We're talking about on the ice. We're talking about the.
Well, he's got that label as kind of a playoff disappointment, but he also had the label going in a few years ago as the best goaltender in the world, and he's got a Vezina trophy, so the guy is definitely solid. He is not surrounded with the best players. Let me say that. In Winnipeg, Winnipeg is not the ideal situation. Great hockey town, but they have faltered year after year. And I remember in the bubble where Montreal took it right to them, and they ended up going to the conference finals that year.
Right.
And he's been somewhat of a disappointment in playoff competition. But that performance to shut down Canada was just amazing. I mean, had Nate McKinnon all flustered and frustrated. Connor McDavid, maybe he's the factor to where he's just going to be the bridesmaid his whole career. And it just goes to show you how talented in the past those Edmonton Oilers teams were with the great one, Mark Messier Anderson. You can't just win with a singular player, and the days of winning with just one goaltender are also a thing of the past. The Patrick Roys, the Dominic Hasek, the Martin Brodeurs, those guys are in that upper echelon, and that's why they are considered.
So Kaluch, where would you put?
Well, whereas
Where would you put this rivalry, or is it? I mean, because Canada had won the majority of the games. I mean, it sure seems like it's alive and well now. I mean, the U.S. was really excited to win, and they were not.
Jim went out there.
I'm sorry. Where do you think this rivalry is now in hockey between the U.S. and Canada? He dropped again. Okay.
Been a rough day.
Challenge, huh?
Little bit of a rough day in Vegas.
Oh man.
Get to watch any of the hockey last night? I have to watch the Devils thing. I was all on basketball.
No,
but I did watch
I
do watch the.
I watched
did
a
watch
little
the
bit of
beginning
Tampa Bay, and they jumped on Toronto 2-0 because they had the Russian guy who was well rested. You know, who's considered one of the best players in hockey.
He's back.
So I'm sorry, Kaluch.
Jimmy, I didn't hear your question there.
Where are we right now with this U.S.-Canada rivalry? It seems like it's pretty appointment viewing at this point, huh?
Well, it's such a difficult scenario because you don't want to bring politics into it, but these countries are at each other's throats now, and it just makes for an exciting product. You're not going to see this until we get back to the Nations 4, and hopefully you'll have 5 or 6 if Russia comes to their senses and, they can.
Oh, no.
So that, and you're talking about massive superstar power. So, definitely the right teams were the Final Four teams outside of Sweden. I didn't like the way they structured the tournament. It definitely U.S. are massive hockey rivals. It has shown how many great United States players there are now in NHL, and basically why a Canadian team hasn't won the Stanley.
Yeah, for sure.
And players are coming to the world, so keep that in mind.
All right, let's get to the card tonight. We got hockey again. We don't like to have our buys scheduled when we're in the middle of a hot streak, but we can't change the schedule. So let's try and pick up where we left off before the break for the Olympics. Who are we looking at tonight?
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to bounce back with the LA Kings tonight. I think that they will have a bounce-back game. The Vegas Golden Knights played tremendous last night in the third period. It was just incredible to watch how they were able to impose their will. Brendan Saad was amazing, and they were able to take control from the Los Angeles Kings. But you did start to realize how much Artemi Panarin is going to mean for the Los Angeles Kings in that line with Kopitar and Kempe. So, I think the Kings definitely, they need victories now. You have to understand there's only a third of the season left. Minus 110 tonight at Caesars Sports, and most around town. I think that's a good price. Edmonton, once again, on the road. The Oilers, what they bring to the table. They bring a high-powered offense at times, just that goaltending. And I just believe that this is a good spot after a long, hard, grueling battle in Anaheim last night for Edmonton, which they lost. The Kings could bounce back in this game. I mean, it's not much of a travel, but it's still a back-to-back on the road for Edmonton. And I'm liking the Kings' chances. My Montreal Canadiens tonight, they need to start to win games as well. They want to keep pace with Tampa, who already got 2 points, playing at a massive level. And Montreal now is 8 points behind in second place, but they want to keep pace, especially playing at the Bell Center tonight. Minus 145 at Caesars Sports and the resort at Summerlin here. And definitely this should be a good spot. Most of those young kids from Montreal were having a great time during the Olympic break. A few of their players, Kapanen and Suzuki, Slavkovsky made the basically the all-star team, as you want to call it, for the Olympics. So the guys that were playing in the Olympics for Montreal were playing at an exceptional level two of them medaled, and Slavkovsky was just very disappointed there, after playing so well in those first three games. But then you have Hudson, Demidov, and, Cole Caulfield just resting. So I think Montreal should be ready for this game. It's all according to the goaltending with the Canadians, guys. The Islanders have played fabulous this whole year. Patrick Roy is definitely a Coach of the Year candidate, but I think Montreal has a little too much firepower, and they're going to come out on edge looking to crush in this situation. Yeah. Also, the third pick, we'll go with the Devils. Another bounce back. They had a tough loss last night, but I think Jack Hughes is very hungry coming off of that Olympic heroism. Gave a great speech. It was just such a great feel. And the other guy that I told you guys about 2 months ago, Tage Thompson, was unbelievable last night, beating the Jersey Devils in New Jersey. So, he had an enormous game. I think the Devils will bounce back, even though it's a back-to-back, traveling to Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh is going to start to come back to earth a little. They played over their head tremendously in the first half. Look at their record. And I don't think they have that level, and especially missing the kid now for about 4 or 5 weeks, that's going to hurt.
All right, so the Kings, and these are the lines that y'all have, the Rampart and in South Point, the Caesars lines. Kings -10, Montreal -145.
Sports, no South Point, Caesars Sports.
What's that?
No more South Point. We ain't at Delmar yet.
Okay, Montreal -145 and New Jersey +40. So the three plays in NHL. So I don't know, man. But I guess it was just like everybody else, every other sports book in the country. It was all American money for that gold medal game, huh?
Yeah, we got crushed here at the resort at Summerlin and Caesar Sports. So, it's always tough when the United States is riding high. We also have the expanded betting menu, so we had action on the women. So, it is what it is. You got to take it in stride. The Olympics only comes around once every 4 years, and it was just tremendous to see those boys, State of the Union address, receiving medals from the President of the United States. Just a great overall feel for this country and an uplifting, because how many the target on our backs now, and it's just, it was a great showing in Italy. Proud of the boys and just tremendous.
Man, I could see me and you back in the day. Look, you on the turntable. I'm on the fog machine at that party in Miami. Come on, man. Just put us to work. Huh?
There you go. Huh? We need those Dookie gold chains, as they used to call them. They're big-ass gold rope chains. Dookie chains. I love it, guys. I love it.
Man, them guys. But you know what we want in our athletes, in our sports, and we want them to care. Ain't no doubt, man, them cats. And look, Sweden and Finland, man, I thought it was a great tournament, Kaluch. Now, look, it finally fell away. The U.S. come up a little bit short in the previous, to Canada. But, minus the Russians being there, which they would have put up a hell of a fight. That's just, man, those teams. What do you think they do next time, real quick, before we go to break? The overtime format. What do you think? You think they stay with the 3-on-3 or maybe go 10 minutes, 5-on-5 before 3-on-3?
Yeah, I think that would be smart. The 10-minute 5-on-5 is the way to go. There's a reason that the NHL expanded in the playoffs, and that's more of a playoff, Stanley Cup playoff atmosphere, the Olympics, than just doing 3-on-3 and getting lucky on a bad break. So, yeah, I would go to the expanded format of the 5-on-5. Then maybe do a little 3-on-3 or, maybe even do a 20-minute 5-on-5, then do a shootout. Anything's better than 3-on-3 because you're going to see a mistake and a breakdown, and it's going to happen. You watch it constantly with the NHL product. So I think there's a reason that they expanded in the playoffs, and the Olympics should follow the playoff NHL format, in my personal opinion.
Right after they sang the Star Spangled Banner, Charlie, that you saw the video on social media, they were singing Eric B. and Rakim. Yep. Like Colucci was on the turntables. Yes. Colucci, we apologize about.
The technique.
Wait, what's that?
Don't sweat the technique. That's what Eric B. and Rakim both do.
Man, let's keep it on.
I got the knowledge, guys.
I know. I understand. Let's heat it up again after this post-Olympic break on hockey. We apologize about the technical difficulties, though, but we got all the important stuff in. Follow Dwayne on Twitter at NYBookieDwayne. Next week, we'll start to look at some of these Derby prep races as well, see if he's got some of those picks. We appreciate it. Thank you, Dwayne. We'll talk to you next week.
Love you guys. Thanks for having me on.
And we'll take a break here live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in Laplace and Plaquemine. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now, we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, first batch comes out at 5 p.m. Weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road near Starring since 1988. By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crowntown Room at Dozy Place. The Crowntown Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with a sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge with fresh, delicious, piping hot, personalized pizza with unmatched speed. Whether you're a downtown worker, a family looking for convenience and value, or an out-of-towner staying at one of the nearby hotels, Town Square Pizza is the spot for you. Try a specialty pizza like the Spanish Town Supreme or custom build your own. Family packs, kids' meals, and salads are available as well. It's hip to be square at Town Square Pizza, downtown facing. What else? Town Square.
The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
The Pierre Part Store, and now the Thibodeau Store, your local experts in construction supplies. You know they can handle your contractor supplies for all jobs, big and small. The extensive selection of plumbing, electrical, and hardware supplies are endless, and they can even deliver it to your job site. If you need lumber, no problem. Available for pickup and delivery from Pierre Part. Top-notch tools and expert advice, it's local service. From the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and online at thibodeaustore.com.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana-Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Here at the original Walk-Ons live at lunch. Early start today for the final women's home basketball game of the regular season as LSU plays Tennessee. It's a 5 o'clock tip. So if you're going out for senior day, and of course 3 seniors going to be honored tonight, including Flau'jae Johnson coming down to the end of her great LSU career. I don't have to give you her whole resume. Wouldn't have time anyway. It's pretty long and extensive, but I'll give you this one. She's 35 points away from 2,000 points. That's been done by 5 players in LSU history. Joyce Walker, Simone Augustus, Julie Groves, Cornelia Gayden, and Sylvia Fowles Johnson. 35 points away. That would be a haul tonight, even though we're expecting a high-scoring game. But she's going to get it before the end of the regular season. Her season high is 25. But expect a lot of emotion from Flaugier because, well, that's how she is. That's how she plays. Always has, and a big crowd favorite. So senior day for the LSU women's basketball team tonight against that old perennial rival Tennessee, who is falling on hard times of late.
So you remember the Ole Miss game? Was it last week, the Ole Miss game?
Last Thursday.
Yeah, and a lot of the pink in the stands in the coach's Cancer Foundation. And Flaugier donated some of her own cash toward the fund. So you see a lot of athletes, trying to do things and trying to drum up other people to support it, but taking money out of her own pocket. She has been a very, very likable student athlete that's come through LSU.
Tigers are looking to keep hopes alive for a number 1 seed. They got to finish strong. Tennessee has lost 4 straight in 5 out of 6 coming into tonight's game. 5 o'clock start at the PMAC, live at Walk-Ons. The original, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
1950, Phil's Oyster Bar started on Government Street. Then Gus Piazza took over in the 70s, and now his son Anthony is taking it to another level at the current location in South Downs. It's always been a Baton Rouge landmark. Seafood, oysters, po' boys, burgers, and more, all served up in an atmosphere full of sports nostalgia and tons of TVs to catch all the games. Seafood gumbo, crawfish cheesecake, or my favorite, the meatball quesadilla to start. Check out dinner and bar specials at philsoysterbar.com. You know we bleed purple and gold at Phil's Oyster Bar in the South Downs Shopping Center.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his blue period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
A timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Patial at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, or David Henry to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
It comes Custom Colors Body and Paint, we're excited to have Will Rapp and Ian McKnight on our team. They're continuing the tradition of exceptional service that Billy Rapp and Pete McKnight began back in 1987.
Custom Colors, located on Industrialplex off Seagan.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And we return here at the original Walk-Ons live at lunch. Big event coming up here in right about a month.
Best weather of the year is last week of March, first week of April, and man, they have nailed it for the time for this Zach Bryan concert at Tiger Stadium. Saturday, March 28th, concert starts at 7 p.m., but we are going to make it an all-day event. Starting out with DJ, a Go DJ at 11 a.m. here at the original Walk-Ons. Chase Tyler Band at 3 p.m. Crawfish boil available for purchase. We're doing crawfish boil and a jambalaya cook, in addition to our regular menu that's available over here at Walk-Ons. Outdoor big screens to watch LSU baseball against Kentucky that weekend. Softball games as well. Rain or shine, it will go on. So in this, Charlie, every pre-sale ticket for our tailgate party, we call it the Smoke Show Crawfish Boil and Tailgate Party here at Walk-Ons, every pre-sale ticket, you get an entry to win a pair of Zach Bryan club seats for the big concerts. General admission, $15. VIP is $110. Check it out at eventbrite.com. So get your tickets now, secure your tickets now for the Smoke Show Crawfish Boil and Tailgate Party all day, 11 a.m. all the way up until 7 p.m. concert time for Zach Bryan at Tiger Stadium.
And tons of things going on this weekend. LSU baseball, LSU softball, women's basketball tonight, men's basketball on Saturday. You can stop on by Walk-Ons right around your visits to any of these games coming up this weekend. Last night we want to take a look at how A&M was going to fare on the road at Fayetteville. Not very well. Arkansas was in control of this game for most of the way and ended up winning it by 15. I'm going to ask again, Jimmy, it didn't pop their net yesterday, but A&M now lost 5 out of 7. The wins were against Ole Miss and Oklahoma.
The 5 losses against tournament-bound teams.
Yeah, and you got Texas, Kentucky coming up in the next 2 weeks, next 2 games, excuse me. Is A&M?
This is where it's fallen this year, Charles. I mean, is A&M?
You keep talking about soft bubble, so where do they land in relation to the soft bubble?
They still have a little cushion. They still have a little cushion. They've got some nice wins in there. You know, when they were tearing up, those don't go away. When they went to Georgia and won handily, even, you know, when they went to Auburn, even as miraculous as it was, you know, we're talking about that. You know, LSU shooting over 50% in a 50-minute game last night from three-point range was unheard of. That still is. That might be an all-timer, Charles. I mean, that's Villanova-esque in the final against Georgetown and Rupp Arena. I mean, that 6-minute span was unbelievable with Texas A&M. It's an extreme style. And did you watch any of the Arkansas A&M game last night?
Very little.
So, when you pressure, what do you have to do against a team that presses that hard? Well, you say, well, you want to, you know, just beat their press and get it. No, you have to attack the press. You have to make them pay for pressure when you have numbers on them. Don't just pull it up when you get past half court. Arkansas attacked the hell out that pressure. I mean, they had dunk after dunk, alley-oops, layups. I mean, just easy buckets making them pay. Scored 99 points last night. You want to press us? You're going to pay. Now, Acuff special, you know, especially when it had, and he was the guy, at that point for, breaking their pressure. But I loved Arkansas last night, and it's a tough spot for A&M. A&M still got a better – they're more into me than Auburn is. Auburn is just –
they've lost 6 out of 7.
To lose at Arkansas, okay, that's one thing, by double digits. To lose at Oklahoma by double digits, that's a different story. And, of course, 2 first-year coaches, but, I mean, at least Bucky Ball did something at Sanford before he got the job.
Yeah.
Stephen Pearl, we know the deal. It was handed to him by his dad. But A&M is kind of playing themselves. The metrics say they're on the bubble, but it's just such a soft bubble that they still have a cushion. And I think Auburn's in right now based on their number 1 strength of schedule. But, Charlie, they're living very dangerously right now. But they pulled it out. Had they not gotten that putback, that last-second putback against Kentucky, it might be a different story. But, luckily enough for them, it was they did get it.
The strength of schedule has dipped just a little bit to 2 after last night with the
opponent,
but it's up there.
Yeah,
they own the number that you look. They own the best win in the SEC this year
at Gainesville.
Yeah,
yep.
So what they lack, and the rest of those games, they played Michigan, they played Arizona, they played Purdue, they played Houston. They lost all of those games. They have a win against St. John's, which, despite what happened to Johnny's last night, is still
they're a tournament team.
Good. Yeah, they're still good. They're a top 15.
Did they beat them away from home?
It was a neutral site.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
neutral
away
site.
from home.
Yeah,
yeah.
Away.
You get a little bit more bump. I mean, that's 2 nice wins away from home.
Yeah, 2 other SEC teams that I think are comfortably in the tournament, regardless of what happens the last 3 games. Vanderbilt and Georgia last night. Vandy just missed covering last night.
Well,
by half a point, depending on what time.
Yeah, depending on when you got it. But Vandy came out smoking. Their coach Byington said after the game, no, we were ready to play. We were this little 2-game slide. We were, so they were ready. Georgia, maybe exhaled a little bit. They built a 20-point lead. And the next thing you know, it's tied. You want to talk about an entertaining level of basketball? You watched that game last night. You said, no, these 2 teams they're definitely tournament teams. And Georgia hasn't always looked like that. Vanderbilt was one of the last teams. They're comfortably in, but they've been a 500 team since they started 3-0 in the league. 500. So, kind of where I thought they were. Charlie, remember when you asked me when they were top 10 and clearly the best, Ken Palm in the SEC? I said, they kind of a flip of the coin second weekend tournament team. And I could see them winning 1 game and, maybe winning 2, but maybe not. But Georgia, even in a loss at that place, I was impressed with Georgia last night.
And Alabama scored 100 points last night. They scored 63 in the first half, and they did it shorthanded.
Well, your leading scorer was out.
Oh, that's shorthanded.
I mean, just your leading scorer, just a guy that has a chance to be a lottery pick. I mean, LeBaron Fadlon. But their ball movement was better last night. Chadley, they had 16 threes in the first half.
16 threes without your leading scorer.
In the first half. And you know what? And Max and I have had some discussions, and Max, you chime in on this, but because the Bediako thing, okay, he's trying to bring in more of a rim defender. But it's almost like, and so they tried to move Harrell, what's his name? Sherrell, to more of their stretch 4. And Bediako was their 5, okay? Well, now Bediako's gone, and he's back down as their rim defender. And it's like he's taken a little pride to it. He had 4 blocks the first game he was out. He is scoring more, and it's almost like he got a little bit dissed and is responded with a little pride and a little – because if he can give them any type of attract any type of attention to where they get cleaner looks from the perimeter, then there you go. And also defensively, because they're so bad defensively, at least their metrics are because of the style that they play. If they improve their weakness, then maybe they might do what I don't think they're capable of and make a little run in a tournament. Nobody's won more games, only as many as Nate Oates in the tournament the last 2 years. But Sherrell he's he's kind of like, okay, all right, well, you don't think I'm – because obviously he went through some extreme path to try and get in Bediako. How is Sherrell not – how is he supposed to take that?
So we're a little over
16 threes without, without your best player.
So we're a little over 2 weeks to Selection Sunday. The league is not as good as it was last year, but Lenardi still got them with 11 teams in. Now Missouri's on the bubble. Auburn, Texas could play their way back into it, although right now they've got, like you said, a little bit of a cushion. My question is, who has a real chance to, besides Florida, which is obvious, who's got a chance to, if you had to give me, besides Florida, one or two teams that have a great chance to make the second weekend? Or are there more than that?
I told you,
Arkansas?
My most dangerous team is Arkansas.
Okay.
I mean, ACUF is just so good, and their roster is so good. I mean, they showed again. They flexed their muscles again. I'm not. Maybe it's just payback from beating Kentucky as a double-digit favorite dog last year. That they got payback this year. That's a bad loss to lose at Kentucky on your home floor. But I love Arkansas, and we're not gonna debate how good ACUF is. And I mean, the guards, you get a guard who he creates for himself and the team, and that's just special, man. You see and he likes to. He's so good on those alley-oop throws. They love throwing it down. There's some other guys in that roster are really good. I just don't think Tennessee and Vandy and some of Kentucky. Certainly not Texas, Georgia. I just think that Tennessee and Alabama are the next little tier, in my opinion. I think they're a little bit stronger than Vanderbilt and Kentucky.
And I agree. And I think it's Alabama. It's a notch ahead of Tennessee for me. Just because they can do what they did last night. They've got that potential. They can go out and they can put up big offensive numbers. They don't always, okay? But they can put up big offensive numbers. For Tennessee, the Rick Barnes teams have always, at least in my mind, been predicated on defense, which they're not as good this year.
They're not as good defensively.
And I know Ahmed is a fantastic player, going to be a lottery pick. So I got to give him credit for that. But
he can't control a game like ACUF.
No,
obviously.
No, he's not, he doesn't have the ball in his hands as much as ACUF.
Well, some are crying for him to get more touches too. So especially with the matchup zone that Missouri played against them 2 nights ago, that they struggled with. Their scoring was down in that game. They thought that Ament was the guy, that was a versatile guy that kind of could go into paint in that sort of mid-range game and create it, and they just didn't get him as many touches.
If you're betting over under game, SEC teams in the Sweet 16, should the total be 2.5 or 3.5? If you have to set a line, or over or under.
Well, you got so many teams, so it's got to be 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah.
Because it's 11.
Yeah, and I think you got a solid 11 in there, and that's where they are. After that 11, it's just a dip. That's your break-off point, So you got 8 that are locks. Then you got those 3 that have cushion. We're talking about Auburn, A&M, and Missouri. Missouri's got to avoid a bad loss at Starkville on Saturday.
I'm going to put Texas in that group too.
Yeah, that's fair. Those teams have beaten up on those 5. To get there, but they've taken care of business. So Texas and Texas A&M and the other, they're winning the games that they're supposed to. Missouri's got to show a little maturity after an emotional win, and I think that Gates has been there long enough. And I like them on Saturday. We're looking at a short number, about 1 or 2, in Starkville on Saturday.
Double buzzer beater to beat Oklahoma. That's the difference between them being in and out right now. That's the thing about it. That's the difference. If they lost that game, they'd be out right now.
We were at Bally's that day.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out how Oklahoma lost that game.
So is Oklahoma.
I am still trying to figure out how they lost that game.
Double buzzer beater.
Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows. Windows, vinyl windows, storm impact windows, or wood windows. That's right. If your homeowners association requires wood windows like mine, you got to get the wood windows from Relief Windows. They're treated. They're to last to these extreme weather conditions. So And it comes with a warranty. I mean, you got to go with the relief windows if you're doing wood windows. But they also have doors, exterior sliding glass doors, French doors, siding, the vinyl siding or hardy plank siding, shutters, interior, exterior shutters, and we even do shades at Relief Windows as well. For windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades, check out all of our inventory online at reliefwindows.com. Give us a call. We're open 8 a.m., 5 p.m., Monday through Friday, 288-8138. Relief Windows.
Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Baton Rouge, get ready for a fiesta of flavor. Whether you're craving sizzling fajitas, cheesy enchiladas, or the best margaritas in town, Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill have you covered. Bring the family, bring your friends, and bring your appetite. From fresh guacamole to mouth-watering tacos that hit just right, it's not just a dinner, it's a celebration. So why wait? Tonight, make it Las Palmas or make it Rio Cantina, two local favorites serving up authentic Mexican taste right here in Baton Rouge. Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, where every night's a fiesta.
The Pierrepont Store, and now the Thibodeau Store, your local experts in construction supplies. You know they can handle your contractor supplies for all jobs, big and small. The extensive selection of plumbing, electrical, and hardware supplies are endless, and they can even deliver it to your job site. If you need lumber, no problem. Available for pickup and delivery from Pierrepont. Top-notch tools and expert advice, it's local service. From the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and online at thibodeaustore.com.
If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee is the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite, love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff, roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots, Highland Coffees and Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
This is Charles Hanniger for Home Bank. If you're tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking, you deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for your businesses and families because they go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business and good for life. Stop by any South Louisiana, Houston, or Natchez area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And we return here at the original Walk-Ons. We're also brought to you by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers. If you're dealing with pain in your back, pain in your neck, pain anywhere that is keeping you from getting around as well as you'd like or keeping you from getting a good night's sleep, let Dr. Michael Goff and his staff help you out the way they've helped out our family, get you to feeling better, targeting those problem areas, getting you into a program that's going to loosen you up, get you to feeling better. If you do need a dry needle or electric nerve stimulation, cryo or ultrasound therapy, they can help you out with those things too. They'll get you to feeling better. Louisiana Health and Injury Center is located Airline Highway, Plank Road, and Jefferson Highway near Drusilla. Workout starting at the combine today, which means that you've got a lot of people in one place, a lot of executives in one place, a lot of coaches in one place. So there's going to be a lot of this is the NFL's version of the hot stove league, if you will. If you're looking for a quarterback, and there's plenty of teams that are, and we're not talking about the Raiders who are locked into Fernando Mendoza with the number 1 pick, but the news continues to just kind of trickle out. What would they play? What they used to play on the morning show? Would you rather? If you're looking for a quarterback now, if you're the Jets, if you're the Dolphins, if you're the Cardinals, if you're the Vikings, if you're the Steelers, maybe your choices right now include Trent Richardson. Now that Anthony Richardson, Trent Richardson, Anthony Richardson, the Colts and he have agreed that they're going to be searching for a trade. If you're willing to put up $30-35 million bucks, you can per season. You can probably sign Malik Willis, who's a free agent in Green Bay, and it will be a free agent.
Much?
That's what they're saying. And Miami is a big player here because the coach and GM were both in Green Bay with him. They're both very familiar with him. Would you rather that? Derek Carr, those reports continue to come out that he is interested in coming back, and there is at least some interest in the NFL. I don't know how that works if Carr is going to insist on playing for a contender, because if you're a contender, I don't think you want Derek Carr as your quarterback. But not saying he does not have some value somewhere in the league. Guys played for a long time. Are you interested in Tua Tagovailoa? Are you interested in Kyler Murray? Are you interested in Spencer Rattler?
This is garbage, huh? Golly.
I'm going to give you the difficult task of ranking all these cats. If you could have anybody on that list that I just named, because that's what's available.
Willis is the best, but he's no way he deserves $30 million a year. Come on. What did Darnold get this year?
Darnold got about 35.
He did get 35.
I thought it was 3 years, $105 million, or 4 years, $140. So somewhere in the area, $35 to $40 million per season.
You know, I guess Willis is in the best position where he's
3 years, 100. Yeah.
3 years for 100. Okay.
I mean,
so that's about what Darnold got last year.
I know, but
Darnold
last
was coming
year.
off of
It's easy to say this year, but because he followed it up with another good season, but he played terrible in those 2 games last year. We got it, but
he had a better year than Willis did.
Yes. Yes.
Willis has
does he have the physical limitations that Willis does? He's got it. There's a reason he was drafted so high. He's got the measurables. He's got a little. He made some plays, man. In that Tampa Bay game, even at a loss, with his legs to extend plays. I mean, he's not a statue back there. Willis isn't either. I'd say that's a wash as far as their mobility is concerned. Maybe Willis might be a little bit more athletic, but it's what not. But he's got the size and the arm strength that Willis doesn't have. To me, I mean, I don't know, man.
Willis 6 career starts now, 3 with Tennessee, his 3 with Green Bay. He had 6 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Where was Willis drafted?
He was at the very top of the 3rd round, I believe.
Okay, and why is that? Because his measurables were not, early, a first-round material. And so what happens with guys like Jacoby Brissett and with Willis is after about the 4th or 5th game, and teams see what their tendencies are and what they could and what their limitations are, and they cheat on that, their effectiveness, tapers off. It's just it's not as strong. Willis, Willis, did he come in there? It wasn't. He didn't play defense and didn't stop Derrick Henry on that Saturday night game. He kept him in the game. He was outstanding. He was good, but it's short periods.
Malik Willis.
Eric Sullivan's already telling you, the former Catholic High guy, he didn't take any time to do two things. Bring in somebody he's known, and he's worked with as his head coach, and also now they want to, they're going to part ways with Tua. And maybe, so is he going to bring in a guy that's just, that's kind of a short-sighted, man.
I defended Spencer Rattler a lot. I will say this, though. Malik Willis is actually a quarter-inch taller than Spencer Rattler is.
Well, Rattler doesn't have the measurables either. I mean, so don't give me. Why did you bring him up?
You're just doing the comp about measurables.
Are we talking about $30 million for Spencer Rattler?
They're both over 6 feet.
Okay,
no.
all right.
No, that's the most attractive thing about Spencer Rattler is you get him on a contract that's cheap for 2 more years.
So is Willis benefiting because he's the best of a horrible class?
Yes.
Okay, and that he's got an in with somebody who's in need for a starting quarterback as well.
Yes and yes.
So he gets overpaid. Okay.
And he wouldn't be the first quarterback to get overpaid on the free agent market. Happens all the time. Would you rather? The one guy I wouldn't touch under any circumstances is Tua. Given the injury history, the lack of production, and what he is owed on his contract, people that are debating Kyler Murray versus Tua, to me that would be real. I'm not wild about either one of them, but I would take Murray 10 times out of 10 before I take Tua. 2 years ago, Murray had a reasonably good year in 2024 and doesn't have nearly the injury scare that Tua had with the concussions. Now, again, I'm not wild about Murray either.
It's not just one hit away from, maybe ending his career, but it's also how it's affected his ability now. He is not stepping into his throws, maybe because he's been hit, maybe because he's one hit away and he's more concerned with that. But that guy does not have the arm strength to throw all arm. I asked you, when he first busts on the scene, the first game in relief, of Hurts in the national championship game. The game went and throw from 40 yards to Devontae Smith in the national championship game. I don't think he can make that throw now. I mean, that ball he had to put it on the line to prevent the safety from coming over. I mean, that's a hard throw to make, and he can't make that throw anymore. Watch the games, not just highlights, but so many times he is throwing all arm, and it's just so he's not big, he's not mobile, he's not durable, and now he's got maybe the worst arm strength. What do we do? They do the miles per hour, the velocity on the starting quarterbacks. He's got to have the worst arm.
Of the guys that have started
the 32 projected opening day starters for the NFL, he's got to have the worst arm in the league.
I can tell you,
his velo has to be the worst.
I can tell you what I would do is if I'm any of these quarterback needy teams, I'd be a lot more anxious to make a short-term fix than a long-term fix. I don't want the long-term ramification of Tua's contract or Murray's contract. I don't want to have to sink multiple years at $30 to $35 million into Malik Willis before I really know what I got. I would much rather, if I'm the Jets, if I'm the Dolphins, if I'm the Vikings are a little bit more complicated because they got the quarterback, the first-round pick on the roster. But I would bring in Kirk Cousins on a one-year deal and take a flyer on this quarterback class that you don't have to use a first-round pick on to see if I could maybe find something. These guys that were at one time thought of as first-round picks but had something happen to them at the end of their college career that they no longer are. I'm talking about Garrett Nussmeier. I'm talking about Drew Allar. I'm talking about Cade Klubnik. Who pick the one that you like the best, okay? And you say, well, I'll take a shot with this guy. I'll bring in a veteran for 1 year. I'll bring in a rookie as a third-round pick or a fourth-round pick, see if it works out. And if it doesn't, then I'll shove some capital into next year's draft when I've got much more to choose from in the draft if I'm going to put a high pick into it.
Those guys all have the measurables. All those guys have the size, the arm strength, to be.
Yeah.
They could have easily been. I'm not. The Beck is.
Well, they're all flawed. Beck, Nussmeier, Allar, Klubnik. They've all got something wrong with them, or they'd be first-round picks. So you got to take a chance and hope that whatever they held them up develops at the next level. So you're taking a flyer. In the meantime, you go get a cheap veteran, and maybe it's not Cousins. Maybe it's Jacoby Brissett or somebody like that, and the Cardinals will probably end up keeping him for a year. It's somebody like that. Before I would put long-term commitments to what's available to me right now ain't very attractive. It's why I'm so excited that the Saints are not in this boat where they have to go.
Well, Darnold didn't. He's got a 3-year deal. I mean, that's not too long-term, Charlie. I mean,
No,
that's
but
about is for a starting quarterback in the league.
But I think Malik Willis is probably going to get a 4-year deal, don't you? I mean,
he's going to get a better deal than Darnold did last year. Wow,
it's possible.
I'd
Wow.
say I don't. I'd say 3
probably
years.
comparable. Maybe
Wow.
Let's give Willis the same contract that Darnold got. 3 years, $100 million.
What's the inflation rate? What's the price of eggs today?
I bought yesterday a dozen eggs.
No, I didn't.
For
I
$1.
was not serious.
I was
okay?
excited. It was $1.81, man. The extra large egg, $1.81.
Come on, man. Eggs
Cheapest
are
eggs have
cheap.
been in quite some time.
Oh, come on, man. Price of eggs ain't going to break you. If they do, you're
They're
not
gonna
working
break
hard
me.
enough.
No, they're not going to break
I'm
me.
sorry.
But a
Can
year
we go
ago, there was $7.
Hey, don't forget the Smoke Show crawfish boil.
You brought it up.
It was
I know what eggs
passing.
cost.
I don't. The Smoke Show crawfish boil and tailgate party. We're getting you ready for the Zach Bryan concert Saturday, March 28th. Secure your tickets now for the tailgate party. Again, crawfish boil and jambalaya that's available for purchase over here. DJ starts at 11. Chase Tyler Band, live band. After that at 3. We're leading you all the way until 7 o'clock. Showtime over at Tiger Stadium. Zach Bryan, last week of March, first week of April is the best weather in South Louisiana, and that's what it's going to be over here. That's Saturday, March 20th. Go to eventbrite.com, and don't forget, any pre-sale ticket equals an entry into the chance of winning a pair of Zach Bryan club seats for the show. It's a Smoke Show, crawfish boil and tailgate party, Saturday, March 28th. Secure your tickets now.
Live at the original Walk-Ons Live at Lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash-fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
This is Charles Hanniger for Total Maintenance. For AC and heating, generators, electricity, plumbing, and more, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all these needs. One of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies. Since 1980, their slogan has been service today, every day, so no one ever has to go to sleep hot. They're an authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem AC units, for Generac and Cummings generators as well. And now, for all of your electrical and plumbing needs, in Baton Rouge, call 480-1000. In New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day. Total Maintenance.
Get Moss Max and less tax during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and Dip Trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, more cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow Seafood and Steak, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soup, salad, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow's Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt.
Baton Rouge. I'm trying to get him on right now. Can you shoot him a text? He didn't answer the first time.
Shoot him a text. He's still not answering.
You heard me, Jimmy?
Yeah, he's doing it now.
Yeah, he didn't answer twice, so shoot that.
Appetite. From fresh guacamole to mouth-watering tacos that hit just right. It's not just a dinner, it's a celebration. So why wait? Tonight, make it Las Palmas or make it Rio Cantina. 2 local favorites serving up authentic Mexican taste right here in Baton Rouge. Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, where every night's a fiesta.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
Click through the static and listen to 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge in high definition. Simply tune to 98.1 and select HD2. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Back here at the original Walk-Ons live at lunch. Max, what's going on in golf?
The Cognizant Classic, aka the B League, the G League of PGA Tour events. Austin Smotherman has the lead, 9 under par in the first round. He is done for the day. 1-shot lead over Nico Echeverria, who has quite a gap with the rest of the field. The rest of the field had 4 under or worse. So 4-shot gap between second place and the rest of the field. But Austin Smotherman currently with the lead mid-first round at the Cognizant Classic.
I got a bet with myself. If anybody is on the lead at any point today that I've heard of before yesterday, I get a bonus.
Well, have you heard of Smotherman? You have not?
Not before yesterday.
I doubt anyone's going to get better than 9 under.
Smotherman's a kind of a cool name, but no, I hadn't heard of him.
Koepka's the G League now?
Koepka's the standout name, I guess, but he has to play in some events that he wouldn't otherwise play.
He's in double secret probation, right?
They had this has been a bad field for a while now, but they had quite a few withdrawals early in the week. Monday, they had Adam Scott, Ben Griffin, some of the bigger names relative, I guess, the better players in the field that ended up bowing out, including Jacob Bridgman, who won last week.
Is that goofy arena golf on Monday, Tuesday night? Is that cutting into any of this participation?
The TGL, not really. It actually should suit the Florida swing better because they all have to fly to Florida for the TGL. So it's kind of weird on the West Coast swing where if you're participating in TGL, you got to fly back just to do that. Here it's right down the street, so not an issue.
It's more about last week you had the Genesis. Next week you got the Arnold Palmer, and the week after that you got the Players.
It would have been 5 straight elevated events for some of the top names. So this is one of those events like the Zurich that's just kind of screwed by the schedule. It does look like, for what it's worth, the optimistic signs for the Zurich. The report came out that they're actually planning to have sort of a tiered PGA Tour next year. So they're not going to get rid of all these events, but they're just going to have basically an A tier and a B tier of PGA Tour events. So the Zurich and the Honda, the Cognizant, whatnot, they'll probably still exist. They just won't be attracting some of the top names like they haven't been.
So Koepka blending in a little bit to the PGA scene after his live stint because this was kind of a G League putt from about 6 feet he missed. So he's now 1 over through 5. So a very modest blend-in start for the multi-major champion.
He's not qualified for the elevated events either, so he doesn't really have much of a choice but to play in these. And right now, if you look at some of the in-depth ratings, the data golf rankings, whatnot, he's like 150th in the world. He's not playing the best golf, so we'll see if he can round into form for the majors.
Where's our 2 consensus guys? Where's Kiefer and Ford?
Johnny Kiefer is just through his first round. He's 1 under par, so tied for 27th. And then our other guy was, remind me, who was
Ford.
Oh, Ford. Ford would just be getting underway.
Well, you gave us the damn pick, man.
Yeah, he has not started. He is, he is on the 10th tee as we speak. Starting his
one of your
round.
list. I mean, you gave us what, about 11 guys, huh?
9. A lot of long shots. You know, you just got to throw in a week like this, I don't want to bet Ryan Gerard as good as he is at 14 under par, at 14-1. I think that's absurd to bet somebody of that.
It's like 1
skill
under
level.
right now.
14-1. He is.
I just showed him.
Yes, 1 over actually.
1 over.
1
okay.
over through 5 holes. So yeah, I don't want to bet a favorite in this type of event, so I'll just bet 9 guys who are like 100-1 or something. I bet a guy 1,100-1, which I don't think I've ever done before. So why not? 1,100-1.
What did who was last year's winner?
Last year it was not
a bomb, huh?
Eckroat, I don't think. The Cognizant. Why am I blanking? They had Chris Kirk win it recently. Oh, it was Joe Highsmith. He was a long shot. Yeah, 200-1, I believe, or something like that. So
I mean, come on, man.
A lefty. he puts
Charlie,
with
is this guy? Is this a golf? Is this a golf guy? Huh?
he puts with his eyes closed. Joe Highsmith.
This is like asking us to rate AAA baseball games. I guess it's a little bit.
Oh no! He knows these guys. I mean, Corn Ferry Tour. I mean, whatever. But I just couldn't believe. I mean, was that the longest shot on the for the season last year that hit?
Highsmith would have been up there. I mean, 200-1. I can't think of anybody else that's unless you're counting those those second tier events where they sometimes play 2 events in 1 week. You'll see that sometimes where one of the long shots wins those, like the Puerto Rico
What
Open.
Florida tournament bled over to front Monday morning, and I think the guy from Oklahoma State won his first one. Was that a year or two ago?
Yeah, this would have been a couple years ago. I don't think there were any Monday finishes last year. But yeah, look, it's a weak field. I guess we're just waiting for more better events in Florida. March is around the corner.
How long are they going to play around with that arena golf?
The interesting news there, they were supposed to expand 2 more teams next year, like a Texas team and whatnot. They have withdrawn their copyright requests for those. So it seems like their expansion might be on hold. So I don't know that the results are maybe as well as they had hoped in Season 2 of the TGL, but it's a thrilling chase to see who the final 2 spots in the playoffs are going to be in TGL, Jimmy. Is it going to be the
not good.
Jupiter Links
it is
GC?
Not good.
Is it going to be
I
Bay?
love the genuine reactions from the golfers too. Oh man, they don't quit your day job. They're not going into acting anytime soon. They're not real good at it.
Tell you what,
it sucks, man. I'm sorry. I mean, to each his own, but you know,
you don't like it. I don't really have a strong opinion on it one way or the
Put
other.
it on Thursday night, date night. We got one game tonight.
Thursday, I'm feeding you a good game tonight.
Are you?
Michigan State and Purdue, a top 15 matchup.
West
at
Lafayette.
Mackey. At Mackey, Michigan State not very good on the road this year. Their best wins against Washington. Purdue has lost 3 games at Mackey, but they were all 2 heavyweights. They lost to Michigan, they lost to Illinois, they lost to Iowa State. So when
Michigan, remember they had that unbelievable shooting night. You know, when they beat them there.
Yeah, that was
the game before Duke.
About a week and a half ago.
No,
yes,
it was last week.
It was, yeah. I am trying to believe in Michigan State a little bit, but
I don't think they have the team. I think people are, and look, the line tells you that the
7.5.
7.5 now.
Purdue is a 7.5 point favorite.
I thought it was like 5.5. I thought that was a lot. 7.5 now.
Then you think 7.5's a bunch more? Purdue is another one of those teams, and I don't think that they're going to get there, but they've at least got an outside shot at that last number one seed.
It's a pretty cool thing, but I think Braden Smith, this is his 4th year. It's not like his 5th or 6th where he's going to break a record, but Bobby Hurley played 4 years at Duke and started from jump. They played in a lot of games. He's going to be right there. It's going to be, I think he's going to break it, but it's going to be right there to break all-time assist record for college basketball for Smith, the kid from Purdue.
Yeah, and that's a big record. I mean, that's
man.
This is not an obscure shooter out of the,
It's not
Missouri
even
Valley
an extra, year and a half to pad the stats and stuff like. No, COVID. So no, this is. Now, are they playing a few more games maybe than that era for Duke? Maybe a few, but they can't possibly play any more tournament games. I mean, one of them they were one and done, but I mean, Duke was playing They're playing 4 to 6 games every. Did they go to Final Four every year?
No,
Hurley was there.
No, Jason Kidd and Cal beat them Hurley's senior year.
Is that right? Now?
That was in
second round game.
Second round game, but they won it all the 2 years before that, and the year before that they went to the finals. So
wait, Jason Kidd beat Duke or Kansas?
They beat Duke. They may beat Kansas too, but they definitely beat Duke.
Because he only played 1 year.
Yeah,
Okay.
It was 93. It was the.
So it was Randy Livingston's senior year in high school because they're 1 year apart.
Yeah, it was also the second year. It was the year North Carolina beat Michigan in the final.
In New Orleans.
The Fab Five's last game together. It was that year.
Timeout.
Yeah, because Michigan, they wanted another piece of Duke because they had lost to them 3 straight times.
Okay.
And Michigan wanted a piece of it, and they were all disappointed when Cal beat them.
Probably you think that was their best team? I thought the team that No, that's right. They beat Kentucky in the semi. Kentucky was loaded. That was
Jamal
Travis Ford.
Mashburn was their best player that
Travis
year.
Ford was.
Yeah, no, they had a really good. Kentucky was really good.
Patino,
Mashburn,
right?
Yeah, and Mashburn was their best player, and the Fab Five. That might have been the best game the Fab Five ever played. Was that semi against Kentucky? It's certainly one of the best.
Their freshman year, the regional final against Ohio State, who was the number 1 seed.
Yeah,
was good too, but they were not. Jimmy Jackson was the player of the year.
Yeah, Jimmy Jackson.
He was the player of the year in that one. So was it regional final or was that the? Yeah, that was regional final.
Yeah, it was
Sweet
regional.
16.
Yeah.
Don't forget our friends at United Community Bank. Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers like Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry, and Prentice Wilkes, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact any of our team of bankers at any of our locations, including our newest location, Burbank and Bluebonnet. I've got an account over there with them. Love dealing with very, very friendly folks to deal with. Come on by and discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8.
Say when.
All right, it's rolling.
I know the menu.
Join us for the Friday edition of Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road. We're getting you set for a big weekend in college basketball and college baseball. Live at Rufino's, 11 a.m. Friday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now, we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, first batch comes out at 5 p.m. Weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road near Starring since 1988.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his blue period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
A timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710. 1950, Phil's Oyster Bar started on Government Street. Then Gus Piazza took over in the 70s, and now his son Anthony has taken it to another level at the current location in South Downs. It's always been a Baton Rouge landmark. Seafood, oysters, po' boys, burgers, and more, all served up in an atmosphere full of sports nostalgia and tons of TVs to catch all the games. Seafood gumbo, crawfish cheesecake, or my favorite, the meatball quesadilla to start. Check out dinner and bar specials at philsoysterbar.com. You know we bleed purple and gold at Phil's Oyster Bar in the South Downs Shopping Center.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And return here at the original Walk-Ons live at lunch again. Big weekend as far as events on the LSU campus. You've got baseball, you got softball, you got men's basketball and women's basketball if you're going tonight. Again, it's a 5 o'clock start for senior day against the University of Tennessee. Good news for the LSU baseball program with the update that Jay Johnson gave a little while ago on Kate Arambidi, who left the game against McNeese early. He is expected to catch tomorrow night when the Tigers play, and that they will hold Chris Stanfield for the rest of this weekend to make sure he's 100%. Stanfield with a hand injury sliding into a base a week and a half ago. So he will sit out, but Arambidi is back. LSU on Friday at 6:30, Saturday at 2 o'clock, Sunday at 1 o'clock, and Monday at 6:30. You're also going to have some extra games at the box this weekend between Grambling, Northeastern, and Dartmouth. So if you see the stadium operating, at times LSU's not playing, that's what's going on over there this weekend. So LSU a couple of weeks away from Southeastern Conference play. Head on over here to Walk-Ons if you're going to the games, any of the
Charlie,
games this weekend.
I enjoyed reading the Reed Darcy in the Advocate's piece on Izzy Besselman, who's I didn't know she had that heart condition. She's one of my son's classmates over at Episcopal. Hell of an athlete, really, really good athlete. Not just basketball, could do it all. And so I didn't realize she had that heart condition. So it's been basically sidelined her for the last 2 years. But a really nice piece in today's Advocate by Darcy.
Yeah, I enjoyed reading it too, and she will be honored tonight. She's one of the three seniors that will be honored tonight before they play Tennessee. So no, it was a really well done piece. I don't know personally, but you
Much better athlete than her grandfather.
Okay. So. Be an emotion. I think an emotional night with Flaugier finishing up the home part of her regular season career, and then it's still LSU Tennessee. I know Tennessee's a little bit down, but they're still Tennessee. So I would expect a pretty.
No, they're not Tennessee. If you ask me, brother.
Well, they're not the Pat Summitt Tennessee for damn sure. I was thinking more about this year. They're going to
run this back with her. I mean, what is her? I mean, and Charlie.
She's been pretty vocal too.
Yeah, she's not conducting herself in these press conferences like someone that's got a whole lot of shelf life. For Vitello for them to still be committed, to have enough administrative support for them to run Vitello off would be one of the reasons Vitello is now in Major League Baseball. They're still committed, and they still have an expectation With administrative commitment, you have an expectation. This women's basketball, what's their record this year in the SEC?
8-6.
8-6, and some of the and 6 of those, some of those losses are like, I mean, getting smoked, huh?
And they were 8-8 a year ago. Okay,
No,
is
man,
that a fireable record at Tennessee?
Yes,
yeah,
100%.
It
Yes.
kind of is.
Yes.
Somewhere else it might not be. When they went to South Carolina, that was the one where it really rankled. They lost by 43, and they got blown out by UConn as well. UConn's undefeated, clearly the best team in the country.
UConn's a bigger favorite than what South Carolina has been the last couple of years.
Yeah, and
to win it all.
They lost to UConn by 30. They lost to South Carolina by 43. So if the record, again, somewhere else that might be fine. At Tennessee,
16-14 in conference play.
And they're likely to. There's a good chance they close 8-8 again this year too. They finished the season
at
against
LSU.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah. No, Vandy's already beaten them, right, in Knoxville?
Yeah, so you got 5 in the country.
Yeah, so
then,
it's going to be 8-8 again. Yeah, they're not going to be Vandy in Nashville.
No, the game's.
This is at home.
So no, Charlie, Tennessee is not still Tennessee.
Yeah, the game's in Knoxville, but no, they're going to be an underdog at home to Vanderbilt.
What's the line tonight?
Vanderbilt's 5.
About 8, 10? 8 and a half?
LSU 18.5.
18.5.
Yeah.
Oh. Whew.
Suffice
Now,
to say, they've never been that big of a favorite.
We were
over Tennessee,
talking. I have to
wouldn't
bring this up and have to be fair. We were talking about Mulkey coaching a kid to, up 8 with only a 5-second differential in Oxford late in the game. Man, did you see Otzelberger, what he was doing on the road in Salt Lake City? Up 14 with a minute to go. They went to score. 5-second differential, up 16 in the game. They went and took a shot.
Thanks, our friends.
No rhyme or reason what they do.
Here at Walk-Ons, tomorrow we're at Rufino's. Everybody have a great day. Stay tuned for Hunt on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.